So this morning at about 4 o'clock in the morning, we got a call of an interstate, a road rage incident that had occurred on I-80 94 near Ripley Street. At about the same time that we got that phone call, a crash occurred westbound on I-94 at 12.8 mile marker, a single vehicle crash. Troopers arrived at the scene of the crash and were able to determine that the driver of the vehicle was deceased from an apparent gunshot wound. The original caller that reported the road rage incident was able to pull over his vehicle on I-65 near 61st Avenue, which is about 2 miles south of I-80 94. That individual has been since been taken into custody pending further investigation by our department. I don't have any suspect information or victim information to release at this time, and there is no further threat to the public. That's all the information I'm able to give you at the moment. I can't answer the questions I can if you have any. One of the parties that was involved in the road rage incident.
Did they stay behind, or how did? I'm
Right.
confused on.
So one of the individuals called to say that he had been involved in a road rage incident. These two vehicles had a confrontation, and the original caller, he is in our custody right now with detectives.
Is that person? Were they in the vehicle that got shot at, or in the opposing vehicle?
That's one of the things that I'm sure the detectives are talking about with him right now to determine what exactly happened.
So how far? And that person who's in custody was taken into custody 2 miles from the crash scene.
2 miles south of I-94, so it's probably about 2.5 miles from where the crash occurred.
Were they in a vehicle, on foot?
They're in a vehicle. Yes. They were both in vehicles. This is road rage between two vehicles.
Well, I just mean the person that's in custody. So they almost like stayed behind and stayed with the vehicle that was involved in that shooting?
From what I'm able to determine, he didn't stay behind. He continued driving down the roadway, and when he called us, our dispatchers told him to pull over, and then troopers responded to him as well as at the same time that when this crash occurred. So we had troopers going to two separate locations, and were able to determine that they were related.
Was he the driver?
Of the vehicle? Yes. This is a single vehicle, a single driver on I-65, and a single occupant that was involved in the crash.
Is it safe to say that the person that pulled over and called did the shooting?
That's something we'll probably be able to determine through the investigation. I'm sure those are questions that they're going to be asking him, and I'll have more information to release once that has been completed.
And what about the actual road rage incident? Sometimes it's so broad, we don't know what exactly happened. Was there any kind of description as to what happened?
Yeah, I don't have that information. That's a great question. That's probably what the investigators are asking as well, to determine what exactly happened between these two individuals.
Can you talk a little bit about the roads opening, what we know at this point, traffic-wise, as you left?
Yeah, traffic's been pretty rough this morning for our rush hour traffic. We had to shut down the interstate at Ripley Street since this occurred at about 4 o'clock, and right now it's just about 8 o'clock. It's about 10 till, I think. So I believe we're having some lanes open as we speak. But that was obviously for this investigation. Our crime scene investigators had some things that they had to do at the scene, and our troopers had to secure that scene to make sure that if there's any evidence that was available, that we could find that and secure that. But to my knowledge, I believe by 8 o'clock, we're hoping to have some lanes open.
The person that was deceased, is there any kind of information you can give us on that person, male or female, any kind of age,
Yeah.
name?
I can tell you it was a male, but that's all I know as far as that individual's information.
And do we have any idea when that person's identity will be released?
Once the coroner is able to determine who that individual is and family has been notified, then the Lake County coroner will be able to release that information.
Is that in the process right now of happening?
Yes. The coroner's office is on scene and taking possession of the deceased. So that'll be up to their office to do.
And speaking of on scene, if you can really walk us through what your investigators do when they shut down the roadway, when this happens, what is that process? What is it exactly that they do?
So it's a very detailed process. The responding officers at the scene, their first responsibility is to secure the scene and maintain the integrity of the scene. And that way, if there's any evidence that can be recovered by our crime scene investigators, that's able to be secured. Once the scene is secured, then they're able to process that. And that's the vehicle. If there's any evidence outside on the roadway, whatever they can obtain to determine what happened in this investigation.
And the suspect, the individuals in custody, can you say male or female, age, any information about?
I can tell you it's a male, that we're speaking with. Yes.
Would you call this person a suspect?
Yes, I would consider him a suspect this time.
Did they recover any ballistic evidence on the expressway? We saw them out there looking around.
Yeah, I know they were out there looking around. I'm not sure. I have not spoken to our CSI, our crime scene folks. They're very busy doing what they need to do, and I don't want to interrupt them. So I don't know if they've recovered anything or not.
So a couple questions for you. Did the suspect have a weapon in the vehicle with him?
I don't know. I did not speak, or I was not at that scene. I came directly to where the crash occurred. I'm sure that will be something that once I'm able to talk with our detectives, we'll be able to comment further on that.
And were there any other callers, witnesses, anything like that that may have reported it?
Not that I'm aware of.
And just to be clear, was the suspect who called and said, "Hey, I was involved in road rage incident," then the crash happened, and then did they identify what vehicle they were in that led them to find him?
Yeah.
Miles away?
So at the same time that the individual was calling us to tell us that he was involved in a road rage incident, we got reports of a crash that occurred on I-94, and the troopers that responded to the scene were able to determine that these two were related. So.
Great. Well, okay.
Okay.